going on YouTube? It's your boy Vince, and today we are back with another reaction. Today we're breaking to why this travel YouTuber is surprisingly controversial.
What?
How do you mess that up? Being a travel YouTuber is probably the least controversial thing you can do on YouTube. You're just recording yourself going to places and traveling. How do you mess that up? What are you doing? You're performing regular activities. You are a normal citizen. Stop it. Like, I'm really confused on what he could have done. Like, this is an activity he could have performed without the camera and had no consequence. How? You gotta really be dumb to mess this up, my guy. Look at you.
Oh, Your Highness, I'm sure it's not that noticeable. Bald!
The only way I can see something like this going wrong is if he's going to some ancient burial ground, spitting on their dead homies, and then looking at their live homies and saying, what are you gonna do about it? Like, how do you get this far on the deep end? What's controversial about this? What is he giving his political takes about ancient burial grounds or different places? Like, is he going to like Israel and saying, oh, you don't need to be like this, guys. This is politically wrong. Like, I don't know what he's doing. So we're finna get into this video and see why this travel YouTuber is surprisingly controversial. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Bankrupt is one of the website's most fascinating YouTubers. He gains over 1 million views per video by traveling to extremely isolated areas. However, with accusations of credit card fraud, unexplained court cases, and most notably controversial behavior toward women, to say he has a hidden dark side would be putting it pretty lightly.
Jewish heritage.
Take for example his very first video titled I Love India's Policewomen, in which he spends roughly 3.5 minutes firstly swooning over female cops.
I saw what at first appeared to be a mirage, but they were no mirage. They were Indian traffic cops, and they were beautiful.
Before filming some pretty questionable shots with some more creepy commentary.
I'm not gonna lie, he knew what he was doing. He walked up behind her booty with the camera like this. Why did nobody stop him, bro? Nah, man, this dude is dangerous. Red flag number 1. He taking booty shots in public. We got one.
The city an extra day, for no other reason than to gaze upon them. In fact, I'd often stop to ask needless directions just to see their smiles up close. Maybe feel a slight hint of their breath on my skin.
Many of the video's comments echoed, I knew it, I'm not the creepiest man alive. However, despite being a pretty creepy upload, there was no denying the footage was interesting, especially to a Western audience. By showcasing similarly interesting culture shock footage like a $1 Indian gym, Mumbai's largest slum, and a stolen item market, Bald and Bankrupt exploded in popularity, all while maintaining his vocal love for the opposite sex.
There's two things that I like in life, markets and women. And here I've come to the world's only all-women's market.
In other videos, Bald's comments became much more expressive.
Oh, sexy little things in their hijabs. I'm a little bit scared to flirt. I do like a woman.
He couldn't even see nothing. No disrespect to anybody's religion or anything, you know? Like, I respect the whole hijab thing, and I'm trying not to get canceled. But I mean, he just said, oh, they're so beautiful. What did he look at their ankles? Like, don't you gotta get to know them first? Isn't that a part of like the culture? That's why they wear those things, so they can get to know their person, like just based off of just knowing them and like loving them like that. Isn't that the reason, or am I confused?
A hijab. Is the hijab one when you just see the eyes? It's very sexy when you just see the eyes. Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
Although since they were nested in highly interesting videos, nobody seemed to give them a second thought.
I found someone who's looking for girls like me. Where are the girls at? Let's find some chicks.
Excluding what seemed to be one single person who wrote, maybe one thing this channel is missing is a little bit more respect for women. They're either pretty so they're like objects and creepily talked about, or they're big fat women with cankles. I love this channel, but yikes, it's weird. To which Bald actually replied, I have news for you. Men objectify every woman we see or meet. We place them in 2 categories, would fuck them or not. It's reality. If you think that is creepy, go ahead, but it doesn't change the facts of how men think, which had been commented on a video where Bald had stated this.
What the heck?
The team has some hotties on it. Next stop, Argentina on the world tour, I think. But I have no actual interest in watching polo, although watching some Argentinian girls bouncing around on a horse might be fun, I don't know.
Any Argentinian people staying here? Any blonde Argentinian girls, you notice?
His outlook
This
only
dude don't even
became more
speak English.
solidified after moving to Russia in 2019.
Look at the boobies they've given her. Oh my god, they're huge. They're bigger than Tanya's.
Although we'll have to come back to the topic of women later, as in the meantime he'd find himself in a totally unrelated controversy.
And before we get into this controversy, this might be a little off topic, but this is making me kind of want to travel. Like, I haven't been a lot of places. I don't even have a passport. I haven't even been out the United States. No, I've been to Mexico once, and that was by cruise. But I've never been Bora Bora, Russia. I kind of want to do that now. Like, what do y'all think? Do y'all want to travel? Like, let me know in the comments. Like, let me know some places y'all want to go. Like, I'm really interested in that because I kind of want to travel now.
During a video titled The Last House in the Chernobyl Village, Bald met a man named Kolya who lived in a derelict forest house with no power or running water.
What the heck?
The two struck up quite an unusual friendship, filming 6 different videos together during which Bald had an idea. He chose to launch a line of merch with Kolya's face on the front, the profits of which would be given to Kolya so he could increase his standard of living, and this seemed to work perfectly.
Recently, I had a t-shirt campaign. I said I was going to raise some money for someone. And well, you guys bought the t-shirts and I've got the money. And so I'm going to come here and hand it over to somebody.
Bald gave Kolya a handful of banknotes, later clarifying the amount to be...
I left him with the equivalent of what was about a year's pension money.
Although since the amount of money was somewhat visible on camera, people were able to pinpoint exactly how much money was given.
How much is
In my
that?
eyes, Bald has only given him 4 banknotes, which would be roughly 400 rubles or $200, which meant he only gave away the equivalent of 20 t-shirt sales. Not exactly a year's pension, is it, Bald? Although another post made things even worse. Bald failed to give Kolya any of the estimated 10,000 money from the t-shirt campaign, apart from the $300 he gave on camera. It turned out that Kolya wasn't even aware that he'd been filmed, and these kind people showed him the videos Bald made about him. In Bald's defense, giving $10,000 to someone with a severe alcohol addiction might have also been a terrible idea.
Don't spend too much of it on alcohol, but Kolya's his own man. I just hope we haven't killed Kolya.
But while Bald and Bankrupt might have done the right thing here, there were more Russian controversies just around the corner. During an upload titled Would You Ride the Night Train to Chechnya, Bald was back to talking about women by stating,
Hopefully at some point in the night at some stop a Chechen chick turns up and shares my compartment with me. And I can put on some romantic lighting. Salam alaikum, sister.
However, as a result of calling Chechen women chicks, Bald was forced by the Russian government to apologize for the insult.
How is that an insult? Is that like a part of their culture or something? Like, because don't over here that just mean girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at that chick right there. Like, I personally don't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's just not in my lingo. But I mean, it seems pretty normal to me. Maybe because we from America. I don't know. Like, I kind of think that's weird. You know? Well, no, it's not weird. I guess he should just apologize. But I mean, shouldn't they like have some type of like, oh, he don't really know. You know, he not from here unless he is from there, and he should know. I don't know. He speak Russian.
But with comments such as lol forcing someone to make an apology for a random flippant joke, Chechnya sounds like a ridiculous place. A nice healthy reminder never to go there. Most people understandably thought that Chechnya was being ridiculous. However, Bald's next controversy was 100% his fault. British YouTube star behind Bald and Bankrupt detained at Russian Space Center. British YouTube star with more than 3 million followers is arrested near Russian spaceport in Kazakhstan.
For what?
British YouTuber ordered to pay fine after Russians detain him at spaceport. Bald had actually filmed the day all of this went down and would upload it under the title "This video caused an international incident." He and a female accomplice had snuck into an old Soviet spaceship hangar without realizing the military had been notified, who were on their way to arrest them. Bald was released with a measly £60 fine. However, the arrest might have played into something more serious, which happened only 32 days later. He'd uploaded a new video titled "The Journey is Over," in which Bald explained he'd been unexpectedly arrested on the street and was forced to leave the country.
I'm being kicked out of Russia with immediate effect. Banned from coming back.
In the months prior, Bald had called Putin crazy and shown his support for Ukraine, the reason for which was explained during a released interrogation video. He'd state, when you have a face on YouTube, if you want to earn money, you need to say what people want to hear. If you don't, it will be a problem for you. Every YouTuber received an email from YouTube where they said you may only talk about the situation in Ukraine from the side of the Ukrainians.
I didn't get that email. You know what I'm saying? I missed that email. Is it because I'm not from Russia, or are they trying to say I'm not a YouTuber? Ouch.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Can't tell it from the Russian point of view. If you do this, then you won't be able to earn money from advertising on your channel, with the audience again taking Bald and Bankrupt's side. Bald was really smart here. He clearly just speaks what is needed to get out of that situation. That's what I would do, the only aim is to get out. Anyone who thinks that Mr. Bald is a hypocrite has never experienced an encounter with Russian authorities.
They on his side
He's an
heavy.
absolute genius and a certified legend. Besides, being thrown out of Russia meant he could go to some new countries, where in Syria he'd post a story to his Instagram, reigniting an old point of criticism, discussions about women. Me before visiting Syria thinking, must be hardcore there, probably going to be a week of no alcohol and must not look at girls on the street or else I'll be beaten up by angry brothers. Reality of Syria, guys inviting you to bars to drink and constantly telling you to go to Homs to see how hot the women are there, my kind of country. Just a few months prior, Bald had posted another story reading, throwback to 6 years ago when myself and HB were just a couple of red-pilled young chads traveling across Siberia having adventures. We'd love to repeat those escapades and film them, but of course YouTube only allows for watered-down versions of trips. Hashtag censorship sucks.
Hey, it is
Bald
what it
seemed to
is.
imply that during his trips, he'd seen more than just the local tourist spots, and as a result a subreddit was created titled Bald and Balded Dossier, deeply investigating Bald and Bankrupt's history. They'd find that Bald had used the online alias Vorkuta, which was the name of a small Russian town that Bald had spoken fondly of in an article that he'd written. A person who'd met Bald in real life also confirmed that Vorkuta was his alias, and you therefore might be wondering, why is this important? Well, Vorkuta, who later changed his name to The Fantasist, was a prominent member of the pickup artist and sex tourist website Rushv Forum.
Yo, like, do y'all be feeling like the world be giving y'all signs sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I promise you, I have never heard of like pickup artists a day in my life before today. But this morning, before I started recording, while I'm eating my YouTube, oh, it's time. While I'm eating my cereal and watching YouTube, I watch a video by Moist Critical Penguin Zero. Y'all know I be watching him sometimes. I think I react to a few videos by him on the channel, but I was watching him and he be like exposing these weirdos that be cringe and that be desperate and down bad. And one of these dudes was in jail for being a pickup artist. And now all of a sudden, I'm watching another video and they talking about pickup. Ooh, okay, it's that type of day. They talking about pickup artists again. Is this a sign? Do I got a pickup artist coming my way or do I need to dodge a bullet? Like, let me know, God. Is this the sign?
Where prior to beginning YouTube, he'd talk about wanting to head to places completely off the track, where he could find provincial seedy nightclubs with puke-stained carpets and suburban housing estates full of disenchanted and hopeless girls, in which his white god status is maximized even more. Bald also talked about faking his level of wealth in photos such as these, which helped him to sleep with an 18-year-old last summer when he was 38, with this video titled Dirty Secrets and Double Life of Bald and Bankrupt exposed, giving a pretty good summary of Bald's 1600 forum posts. It's therefore no surprise he joked about being a pickup artist, and when someone commented on one of his videos, big sex pest vibes. He can't help but bear creep around any woman and it's been the same for years. Bald responded by stating, a sex pest for years? That's absolutely unfair and untrue. I've actually been a sex pest for decades. Bald was seemingly exercising his strategy for dealing with criticism.
How do you deal with it when people are like saying terrible things about you? I suppose every YouTuber has their own techniques to cope with that mentally, but for me, like, embrace it, love it, and amplify it. When someone says like you're the biggest wanker in the world, you say, that's right, mate, bigger than you'll ever know, even worse than you think I am. What are you gonna do about it?
And while this works pretty well 95% of the time, doubling down on a sex pest comment was something he probably should have just ignored. It didn't help that he was also accused of SA in the year 2000, and while an article on the incident confirmed that Bald was acquitted, the judge stated their behavior towards the woman had been appalling. Combine this with a forum post where Bald bragged about his Rohypnol game, and another joke on his Instagram reading, if you see this man, do not approach but call the police immediately. He is wanted in connection to a crime where Rohypnol was used. It's not hard to see why some might think that Bald's a bit of a creep.
Why are people just weird? Was he born like this? Like, does his mom know that he's a weirdo? Like, something's not right. Like, he talking about, I've been a weirdo for decades. I don't think he was being jokeful, talking about that's how I deal with criticism. I think he was for real. My guy, you have some problems that we don't know about. Stay over there.
On top of this, Bald had suspiciously changed his name from Benjamin Rich Swift to a more simple Benjamin Rich, the reason for this being explained by Bald and Bankrupt himself. He'd state, "I owed £30,000 on credit cards and bank loans here in the UK about 5 years back. There was no way I could pay it back. I decided to change my surname to my mother's maiden name and change address, and I never heard from them again, for which the audience actually admired him. I respect him more now. Scamming a bank is morally right. What a beast. Keep on traveling, bro," which is exactly what he'd do until he'd post an Instagram story in Germany. Only been in Europe 2 minutes and already been ripped off. £15 for 3 mouthfuls of pasta. Germany, just like the UK, must be a failed state. They need their old leader and some Hugo Boss suits back in power to sort things out. After Bald posted that to his Instagram story, he'd receive a text from his mum reading, "Glad you arrived back safely, but not sure about your comment with the food," prompting Bald to post another story reading, "My mum always worried when I'm trolling with based comments. Mum, get off Instagram, you're too old. In fact, if I find you on here again, I'll start posting my collection of George Floyd memes," which on the internet of course ruffled some feathers.
Another one. Why? Why do I always catch a stray every video? It has nothing to do with me. Why are they bringing up racist stuff talking about a George Floyd meme? That was not funny.
Wow.
That was you laughing, huh? When it happened. Oh, look at the cops doing that to him. You lucky I can't see you. You lucky I can't see you, because if I could right now, I'd be putting my hands on you left, right, left. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. It'd be bad for you. You're a weirdo.
Okay.
Although for a slightly funnier reason. It was based from a 48-year-old man is actually crazy. After Bald also showed extensive support for Andrew Tate, he was slammed by NFKRZ despite the two collaborating together in the past.
Red pill circle jerkers, digital nomad, expat, fucking Bald and Bankrupt looking ass.
And as a result, it seems their friendship completely disintegrated.
I randomly accidentally found out that Bald actually blocked me on Instagram completely.
On top of blocking NFKRZ, Bald wiped everything else from his Instagram, leaving one single image with a pretty heartfelt caption. "As I wind down my YouTube career, I'm looking forward to slowly going back to being Ben from Brighton once again, instead of Bald from YouTube. If I'm going to be congruent with that desire, then I should remove as much of Bald and Bankrupt from the web as I can." Interestingly, that had been posted on the 7th of July 2022,
He running from something.
which was the same day as when his forum posts were first exposed on YouTube, almost certainly explaining his sudden desire to quit. Impressively, however, Bald and Bankrupt soldiered on and continued uploading high-quality content, possibly realizing he could only look to the future, as he had no way of changing his past. However, in a recent interview with Joe Fish, Bald and Bankrupt stated that he'd pretty much completed his travels.
I've been very, very fortunate, and I can say that I've pretty much ticked off everywhere I truly want to go. I'm more interested now in learning more about my home country than I am about seeing those other places.
And while Bald has definitely had somewhat of a bumpy history, him quitting YouTube would be a depressing end to a channel loved by many with so much future potential.
Man, ain't it crazy how, like, it's so many people on YouTube that we don't know about? I've never heard about this man a day in my life, and he's probably been doing this for years. Like, and he has never crossed my homepage one time. I wish I would watch a video by him. He's weird and racist. Like, come on, bro. That put a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if I like that. You know, and if I smack him, they're gonna be talking about, oh, why'd you smack this random man? No, you have to go to jail. No, bro. Y'all didn't hear what he did. Stutter one more time, and you're gonna get smacked.
Oh!
Y'all didn't hear what he said to me. I don't even know where I was going with that anymore. I don't know, man. What y'all think? Do y'all think this whole thing was kind of like an act, or like a scheme to get clicks, or do y'all think he was really a weirdo, or like do you think he was trying to say something that would just, you know, garner views or get attention? Like I feel like that's the case with a lot of these people. Like they see what works. They see, oh, if I say this, if I'm controversial like this might get more clicks, you know, and then they start doing that stuff, and then they start believing this stuff. Then they try to backpedal, and it's like a whole little scramble of a whole bunch of random stuff to me. But I don't know, like this dude was definitely controversial. He definitely was doing some stuff he probably shouldn't have. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about him in the comments. And y'all know if y'all enjoyed the video too, make sure to subscribe. We're on the way to 10,000 subscribers. And hit that like button if you enjoyed. Because it just makes sense to hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, why would you not hit the like button if you didn't like the video? And even if you didn't like it, please. I need it. This dude is weird. We gone.